one thing we're doing with Sam's Skyline whilst it's here, other than his twin turbo kit, and that is a kit we will sell as well, hopefully, but is a big single kit. So with these cars, you get, say, like we said in the kind of episode 1 of this kind of project, you can go 2 ways with these. You can stick with the twins, go bigger, or you can use a big single. And big singles become more and more popular, as turbo technology gets better. So what we've got now is I've mocked up the collector and the turbo position against the head flange, and this is kind of like step 1 to developing that big single manifold and kit. It will be a much simpler kit, really. It is just a manifold, a downpipe, an intake, boost pipe, and then the lines that go with it. Obviously the twin kit's quite a lot more complex, so we've hit a few little kind of shall we say bumps in the road with that kit. So whilst we kind of overcome that, we've just thrown this on to mock it up, because it's not actually that much work involved. And then we'll get cracked on with making some manifold primaries and a downpipe for it. At the minute, we've got it mocked up with a tile turbine housing with a kind of a GTX 30 empty turbo that we've got, which we use for mocking up and things like that. And the idea is that when we use this turbo, we can pretty much fit anything. So because it's a really big cover, we can go up to pretty much the biggest 35, so 3582, or the new G Series 351050. So you should be able to offer this kit with kind of a really big range of turbos. And that's why we've also gone for 4-inch intake, 4-inch downpipe. Obviously we can make the intake smaller to suit other turbos. It's just a single bend. Obviously no airflow meter. Most of the ones that are running big singles, obviously they're ditching the twin airflow meters, and they're on an aftermarket ECU anyway. But yeah, 4-inch downpipe. So there's no limitation there in terms of exhaust back pressure, even with a really big turbine wheel. We've tapered it down underneath the car into 3.5 inch, and then into a soft flex, and then into what will be our 3.5 inch cat back. So we've tried to build it in such a way that we can kind of offer almost unlimited options in terms of what turbos we can run with these. Obviously we know what turbos work really well with our other kits, but this isn't an engine that we have too much experience with, and they're run all over the world with so many different kind of setups, options and turbos, that we thought it was best just to we'll just go with one big one, and then we can kind of, as we fabricate the jigs for it, we can kind of mix and match the turbos and still know that we're going to get a really good fit in the future. So we've also mocked it for a 50mm wastegate, which should be more than enough wastegate anybody ever needs. I think maybe if you're running like a 3.2 stroker and a really small turbo, you might need the full 50mm wastegate, but again, we can downsize it to a 45. That's not a problem. So we've got the Turbo Smart Gen V 50mm gate on. What we've built for this mock-up is our normal 1.25 inch 304 manifold primaries, and we'll obviously be offering it with the 44mm 347 Hypex material as well, which is what we tend to prefer. Obviously costs do start to escalate quite a bit, especially when you're talking about a 6-cylinder manifold, because 6 primaries, that's more material, and obviously the 347 is quite an expensive material. So we've kind of done it that way. So we're offering the 304 and the 347, but with either option we're still using the full 347 cast head flange and 347 cast collector. I mean, again, on these kinds of cars, they do tend to take quite a bit of abuse, so again, it's a no-brainer to go for a cast collector. You can do a welded one, fabricated welded one, but they just don't seem to make that much sense to me nowadays. I think the options that we've got kind of off the shelf in cast components, it doesn't make sense to use a kind of fabricated welded one. And again, that's one of the advantages with the cast head flange. We can do that oval to round transition all in the head flange. We're not going to worry about squashing tube down, porting it to the right size of the head flange. You know, once we've got that cast head flange, it takes out so much work, and we end up with a better product out of a better material. We've not got any lines on it at the minute, but we'll obviously be able to include those if required. So, you know, your standard braided Teflon, oil feed and return, and then coolant lines. We will most likely offer the Pro Gold fittings on this kind of kit. Again, we want to provide what is considered to be the highest available quality parts. So, yeah, we're definitely going to be using the Pro Gold stuff on here, which obviously is expensive, but you know, they're so much lighter and better quality than most of the other kind of AN anodized options you can get off the shelf. But then the beauty of, you know, building it this way is that we can offer pretty much any options we need. So with the 50mm wastegate, what's really important is the 2-inch tube that comes off that back into that 4-inch downpipe. We want to get that lead in as nice as possible, really shallow angle, so that as that gas from the wastegate enters the downpipe, we're not disturbing the gas that's already running through the downpipe at pressure. So it's always really important to spend some time and actually fabricate a proper, really nice shallow entry for the wastegate back into the downpipe. But obviously we can do it with a screamer pipe as well. You know, that's not a problem. So yeah, that's it. We're all sorted with the big single kit now. We will be doing a twin scroll kit as well. It'll have a slightly different turbo position and obviously very different primaries. But we've been waiting on some materials to get cracking on Sam's twin kit, and that's the kit we're most excited for. So yeah, we can get started on that again now, really. So yeah, thanks for watching.